player in the niche of Major League Baseball is what I'm showing you here today. Will really help you win, as I have done so yesterday, even in low-scoring games. That you're not to be concerned with whether the games are high or low scoring, just because if there's no 10 over-under game total, not to worry then, because you would have already chosen, according to these methods right here, basically for my morning AM breakfast video, what to really focus on. As long as you watch the weather and you see that there's no risk, major risk for delay, um, as far as pitchers especially, but also hitters, taking that out of the equation. If you see around the 15, maybe 20% risk chance of rain, you may want to avoid those, at least in cash games. So when you look through to the DFS Army site, as I paid for these because these are components that I use to put together my strategies. What I'm taking note of here, as you won't see this really anywhere else, as well as far as I know people doing. Um, Even though I do watch and listen to what other people do, of course, is that the bullpen rank here, as you can see, it includes Sierra, home runs per 9 innings, fly ball rate, and hard contact rate for upside versus opposing teams. So you can come over here, all the way over. It doesn't matter if they haven't updated their stuff yet on this site, because it still gives me the rankings of the bullpen regardless of the day it is, as it's not updated as of 7:15 a.m. Maybe in another hour or so they'll update it. So you have all this data here at your fingertips if you have or get this. So looking at teams with the weak bullpens right here, such as the Mets, Baltimore, Miami, Detroit, Kansas City, and so on. This site here is updated early in the morning. The draft dashboards will try to look at it at a different angle using OPS if you like, but I'm mainly concerned right now at this point with the pitches per game or innings per game at 3.3. We can see clearly this guy, Aaron Brooks, is going to get blown up by the Arizona Cardinals. So I have them first in my teams to stack against on my site, as you should see in the watermark at Wealthy Fantasy Football. That's a .com, so you can visit there and see these, my list of stacks, and as well as pitchers. If you choose the right stacks and pitchers, you will get yourself. And if you don't go to, unless there's a few teams that are really cash viable, or what I mean by that is really essentially low risk, without any weather concerns and without any concerns about going against their starting pitcher nor their bullpen, then you have yourself a great, even though chalky, possibility of winning, even with a couple variations using the same two teams and lineups. So, so you're going to go with today, Arizona. You're going to go with Colorado here. I noticed great since Washington has a poor bullpen this year. And then you're going to go with has some alternatives. So that's mainly, I just told you, your cash, your main options if the weather is all good in Baltimore and Washington. So it's, there's a possibility that may not be at all. So then alternatively, you're looking at Washington. 5 innings you could get out of this guy. However, he's not very good, and the bullpen's not good for Colorado per that list that we saw. And Homer Bailey is not a good starting pitcher for Oakland, and he only gives you about 4.5 innings. And Oakland is in the lower half of the league also, even in bullpen ranking. You can go with the Yankees, as they're a lot of times highly owned, and so on. You could even go St. Louis. So I have these teams listed on the Wealthy Fantasy Football. Before I get into football this year, also doing baseball as well. And of course, like I did yesterday, looking at the baseball line odds. Unfortunately, the video got sideways literally yesterday, and maybe you couldn't see that so well. But today, there's a nice, big, large slate you want to take a chunk out of and distribute these type of lineups into your But anyways, yeah, you could roll over here if you like, get a consensus of the odds. Here's a consensus column. For example, today even it's already set over under 9 with Cleveland having an advantage there, I believe. Yes, consensus rankings shows Cleveland favored in a 9.5 over under. And so you got also Milwaukee that you want to pay attention to these lines right here. As I mentioned, the Yankees, maybe even Minnesota could get on an action. So that's what the basis of the research is for the morning, the early morning, and to get your basic stacks and the pitchers also. Decide upon your pitchers if you like to go with your top arms here for the day. All right. So check these guys out and then go from there and start your initial lineups for today. Always adjust and reset if necessary later on.